We did a job recently where we needed to install a curved stair skirt. The skirt needed to go all the way from the entryway up to the first landing in one continuous piece. The bottom section was the part that was curved, and it was also the part that did not have enough gap between the stair framing and the wall to slide in a stair skirt. So we made a pattern board that would follow our layout line and was notched for the rough framed risers and treads. With the pattern board cut, we tested it in position to make sure that it roughly followed our layout lines and matched up with the vertical line that would tie into the base. We also tested for the lever points we could use to force the material to follow the curve in the wall, which is always made more difficult because of the twist that you have when you combine a curve and the rake of the stairs. Next, we cut the first layer of our stair skirt lamination and test fit it in place. Then we used the first layer as a pattern board to mark the second layer, allowing a little extra length for the slightly wider radius it would follow. When we put the first two layers in place and tried to shape them to the radius of the wall, we noted that the pressures from the twist was going to make it very difficult to get 3 layers to shape the way we needed them to. We also noted that the only place that the middle layer would be visible would be along the top edge. So we decided to rip the middle piece in half on the table saw and use only the top edge. Next, we applied Carpenter's glue to one side of the now narrow centerpiece and installed it onto the first piece using an occasional short finish nail to keep it from climbing with the torque twist. Next, we test fit the face layer and did some scribing to make sure that it would go into place and match up reasonably well with the top edge of the first 2 layers. We then applied Carpenter's glue to the center strip and put the face layer into place. At this point, we could not fasten the stair skirt to the wall because it needed to have some shaping done to compensate for the way the layers match up as a result of the twist in doing a curved stair component. To complete the shaping and sanding, we would need to be able to remove the finished stair skirt from the wall, so we used a series of these clamping blocks screwed into the stair treads to hold the freshly laminated stair skirt in place. Once we were satisfied that the stair skirt was following the wall reasonably well and we had it clamped into place, we left it alone for a few days. After a few days were up, we removed our clamping blocks and took the stair skirt off the wall. With the stair skirt off the wall, you really get an appreciation for just how much twist goes along with the curve in a stair component like this. We put the stair skirt on a workbench and made a couple of light passes with the power planer before hitting it with a sander. Because we wanted to minimize the amount of material that we removed from the top of the face piece, we put a series of pencil marks along the top, so as the pencil marks disappeared, then we knew we were done with that section. We also used a square to make sure that we were keeping the top edge relatively perpendicular to the face of the stair skirt. We also used the square to mark the cut where the base tied in, which needed to be square with the floor. We used a jigsaw to cut over near the scribe line and then used a random orbit sander to fine-tune the cut over to the scribe line. Finally, we put a fresh radius along the face side of the top edge. After shaping our curved stair skirt, it was now time to install it. The upper part of the installation was fairly straightforward. Put it in place, follow the layout lines, and nail into the framing. We used a stud finder and a finished nail gun with 2.5-inch nails and worked the stair skirt into position as we nailed it from the top to the bottom. When we reached the curved section, the real work began. Between the spring back you can always expect when taking something laminated off of the curve form, and the fact that you want to get a much tighter fit than you had when you test fit things, it adds up to a lot of work. We used boards wedged between the stair skirt and the stair jacks, and we used our original clamping blocks to work the skirt in tight to the wall. We also screwed some blocks to the stair treads to make something we could pry against as we followed the wall around toward the bottom of the stairs. Using a combination of nails and screws, we continued to fasten the stair skirt into the framing as we went down. Eventually, we were able to get the stair skirt into the position we had planned. Then it was just a matter of tying in the baseboard and handing it over to the painters.